When did faking it actually work out for you? I was 22 and had taken 3 semesters of ASL in college. I wasn't fluent at all, just knew enough to have basic conversations with my deaf classmate Katie. I loved learning it, but I was nowhere near professional level. Then my older brother's best friend Chris called me at 10 p.m. on a Thursday, completely panicking. His wedding was Saturday, and the ASL interpreter for his deaf aunt just canceled. Food poisoning or something. He was freaking out because his aunt was flying in from Oregon specifically for this wedding. Ellie, you know sign language, right? Please, I'm desperate. No one else in our families knows any ASL. She'll be completely left out of my wedding. I tried explaining I wasn't qualified. Chris, I can barely order coffee in ASL. You need a real interpreter. It's just the ceremony and maybe some dinner conversation. I'll pay you $300, please. That $300 would cover my rent. I was living off ramen and student loans. Against every logical brain cell, I said yes. I spent all Friday night watching YouTube videos and reviewing my old textbooks. I practiced the wedding script my professor had used in class exercises. I even called Katie to quiz me on basic phrases. She thought I was insane, but helped anyway. Saturday morning, I put on my most professional outfit and drove to the venue. My stomach was doing backflips. Chris introduced me to his Aunt Margaret, who seemed really sweet. She signed "Nice to meet you," and I actually understood it perfectly. Maybe this wouldn't be a disaster. The ceremony started fine. I stood next to the minister, interpreting the vows and readings I'd practiced. Margaret was smiling, nodding along. I felt like I was actually pulling this off. Then the minister announced a surprise reading from Chris's little sister. My heart stopped. This wasn't in the script. I had no idea what she was about to say. The sister started reading this emotional poem about love and family. I caught maybe half the words. The rest was pure panic mode. I remembered my professor saying when you don't know a word, fingerspell it and use facial expressions to convey emotion. So I basically performed an entire poem using 60% actual ASL, 30% fingerspelling, and 10% made-up gestures that I hoped looked meaningful. I put my whole soul into my facial expressions, looking emotional and heartfelt even when I was completely lost. Margaret was tearing up, which either meant I was doing great or destroying her nephew's wedding. I couldn't tell. After the ceremony, Margaret hugged me tight and signed something I partially understood as, "Thank you for trying. You did good." I nearly burst into tears right there. I'd expected to be exposed as a fraud, but instead she seemed genuinely grateful. The rest of the reception went smoothly. I interpreted dinner conversations about family and work, topics I actually knew vocabulary for. People kept thanking me all night for helping Margaret feel included. A month later, Chris texted me that Margaret had asked for my contact info. She wanted to recommend me to her nonprofit organization for community events. I panicked again, but she explained they needed someone for small gatherings, not complex conferences. That fake job turned into real opportunities. I studied harder, took advanced classes, and got properly certified 2 years later. Now I'm a full-time interpreter, and Margaret still refers clients to me.